Okay, here we go.
Sweet, I'm so tired you. Sweet, I'm so tired you treat me this way. I'm sick and then sweet, I'm so tired you. Sweet, I'm so tired you treat me this way. And I'm human, treat me this way. Sweet, I'm so tired you. Sweet, I'm so tired you treat me this way.
Oh my god, stop. Welcome to another episode of Dig Deep with Audio Coach B.
Zombie Coach B.
Okay.
Just goofing off a little bit. Audie thinks I'm too serious, so trying to goof off a little bit more.
Oh, no.
Ed's all about it, right, Ed? Ed.
You look like that. Was it Mrs. Doubtfire? I do a good impression of a hot dog.
So, I guess we're going to be doing part 2 of the last episode.
With our paranormal that we have, but first, before we go,
We got to catch you up on life and everything else. What happened? So, we had a fire, right? We had a fire that was down the street from our house.
Yeah, that was really scary.
Which was insane.
The mountain fire.
I literally was on the roof spraying the roof down so the embers wouldn't get there, and then I taped all the vents and ducts, and a lot of people evacuated. A lot of people yelling at us for not evacuating because we were watching the fire. But yeah, it was pretty insane. But we're safe. Our house is safe. Only thing that caught on fire was this one house close to us.
It was like less than a mile away
Less than a mile away. I would say half a mile, really. It was like up our street and then over this other brick wall. And it was right there in that house. Somehow out of all the houses, that one house, because it's a neighborhood.
It's where we run. It's where we see it every day. So just seeing something like that was terrifying. Remember
my brother's safe.
Yeah, your brother's safe.
He lives in that area.
The mountain in front of him, that was scary. You called me at work and said, "Hey, there's a fire."
I said, "Get the F home."
No, I just grabbed all my shit and left. I was like, "I'm leaving. There's a fire," and everyone at work was.
And then you pack like for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then you pack for 2 months. As we go home, I said, "Get the F out of here." The smoke was so bad. The sky was like orange and yellow. You couldn't see anything. It was hard to breathe. I was on the roof getting blown because the winds were up to 60. I think they said 60 miles plus. And so I was on the roof just getting blown away. But
didn't you get stuck in the roof?
Yeah, the ladder fell a few times. So I was like stuck on the roof for a bit. I was on the roof for like 4 hours. I was like watching the fires.
You were stuck there?
No, I mean like that fell down.
Oh.
I mean it caused more issues because it fell on the plumbing and the garden, so I had to fix that.
Yeah.
It was a whole spiel that day.
Well,
right after election too, so it was like a whammy for a lot of people depending on who you voted for. But it was just a weird thing that everything happened right after the election.
It was like
back to back.
But what was
energy?
Yeah, the energy was just. Speaking of that, when I woke up on Wednesday, it was so weird. I had a really bad feeling when I walked outside to let Cody go use the bathroom in the morning, and I looked out. I was like, something feels really off about today, and I couldn't shake the feeling. Even when I was driving to work, I started thinking about a fire. So I think it's just something...
Well, I mean,
just that feeling. It's just so odd.
I was up at 3, and the wind was blowing so hard, and I went back to sleep for like another hour or so. I think I had really crappy sleep that day too. And,
yeah, I think we're pretty sensitive with feeling.
No, it wasn't that. I mean, it was
just like energy wise. Like sometimes
I mean, I was driving. I had to drive
getting bad feelings of things.
I had to drive to Westlake at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And that was windy. Like my car was getting blown so bad that I was I have an SUV, so it was shifting, pushing me left and right. And I was behind trailers and semi trucks, and they were blowing into my lane, and we were all vice versa. It was like a snake. And yeah, it was kind of sketchy, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we're all safe. We're here.
yeah, we're here.
We
And it's so awesome to see how
Camarillo,
the community has been, and even people that don't even live in Camarillo were reaching out to us,
donating
asking,
clothes.
wanting to see how they could help our community. So
Our
it's very
friend
nice.
Sandra, I mean, we are texting nonstop, and she was like, if your brother needs a place, let me know, like all this stuff. And it's good to have like our running community and our friends, you know, all reach out to me. And even people I didn't even expect to reach out to me were like, hey, if you need to come to the valley or you need to come this way, then you're more than welcome. If you need Summer Ventura, you know, Denise is like, you can stay at our place.
Yeah, that was
you
super
know?
sweet of her.
So a lot of people, you know, were reaching out, which is awesome. Brian Moore Park, I mean, he was in the whole danger zone too, and I'm glad he's safe. David's safe.
We have so many people that we can name, and even Risa reached out to me. Yeah. But it was more of like if you need someone to talk to because she went through it. Yeah. So that was very nice of you, Risa. Thank you.
But we're super stoked just to be here. It's been it's been crazy few weeks. The election, the fire, and then just life itself of whatnot, you know?
Yeah, I think now anytime it's windy, I kind of get a little scared.
Well, people got a little PTSD.
Yeah,
like everyone we've been talking to is like PTSD from like the Thomas Fire and the Woolsey Fire.
And the Hill Fire.
Hill Fire, Paradise, and wherever you're at. I mean, I flew out to every place for work at that time, and I was in every fire zone, which was kind of weird to be there, from the 405 to Paradise to Ventura County and the Valley. So, but we're safe, we're sound, and we're here. And I am Coach B, of course.
We didn't even introduce ourselves.
God.
I'm Audie.
So...
Can you tell? Look at...
I know. We're like matching today. We went to a concert 2 days ago. One of my favorite bands, as you can tell.
Tell me you went to a concert without telling me.
I know, right? And so we had a great time. Maybe one more concert by the end of the year. It has to be worth it, though. I don't want to pay no $100 for that shit, you know. I'm inflation. Let's go, baby. Let's go cheaper. No, has to be worth it with the band, I guess, in the end. But yeah, I mean, we've just been busy. I mean, I don't even know if I'm full time now as a running coach and personal trainer. I have no idea if I even announced that in the last episode or not.
No, you said that you quit the gym.
I did quit the gym, so it's been a month now. Full time doing that, which has been great. You know, I've been getting more people, getting more attention, so putting myself out there more with that kind of stuff. And then we did a little healing circle.
Oh yeah, that was something else we did. Yeah,
we did something new.
That was really cool.
With some Reiki. I was the only guy there, of course. And
come on, guys, you guys gotta come out more.
It was fine. I mean, ironically, all the girls that were there, all the ladies,
knew them.
I knew them from the gym, and I didn't know they were into that stuff. So it kind of was really funny and ironic that I saw them there. But yeah, it was really cool just experience.
And we went to go see our dietitian talk, Noah.
Yeah, Noah. Shout out to Noah. I'm gonna see her tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to make an appointment.
And so yeah, I mean, we've been. Yeah, I guess taking it easy on certain parts, and then, I mean, I have a race in 3 weeks, so I've just been really doing longer runs, and then getting that taken care of, I guess, and then just getting ready for Thanksgiving. I mean, we have a Thanksgiving run coming up. Hopefully, if you listen to this, it will be you will be at the Thanksgiving run.
The 28th.
The 28th. It's our third year hosting. This will be our third year hosting. We've been doing it the last couple years, and we might as well keep it our tradition of doing it at the trail. So we're doing our famous Hill Canyon spot, and it's gonna be fun.
You said that there's a surprise. I don't even know what the surprise is.
I was gonna wing it and figure it out.
Well, I thought it was what I.
There might be. I mean, I don't know, maybe you'll get a turkey hat.
Well, maybe so they have to listen to this so they know what the surprise is.
I don't know.
Maybe it's something. Maybe it's something.
I just said that so I can figure out something.
Well, maybe it's something bubbly.
Bubbly. Are you talking about carbonation drinks?
No.
Bubbly.
Oh my god, you don't even drink, so no.
Mimosas. Yeah, I don't even drink.
Mimosas. Oh, those are dangerous.
I'm sober. I've been sober for almost 2 years.
Well, you never had a drinking problem. You say.
I did. We did. We used to drink a lot.
We're not like.
Yeah, but that's still.
We had unhealthy habits.
Drinking habits. Which was still like, but the fact that, we would drink, we're so off topic, but the fact that we would drink all the time, even on weekdays, like after work.
You more legit live a straight edge life.
I live a straight edge life now, so I'm more straight edge. I don't really drink or smoke or do any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm trying to live as healthy as I can because I need to live to 100. I'm half Asian, so hopefully that will come into play when I get to 90.
Well, I'm Mexican, so maybe I see my grandma. I think she's like 94, still cooking and cleaning.
Chihuahuas could live 20 years. Mexicans could live to 100 years old.
Yeah,
right?
Cody. Maybe Cody.
Cody might be 20. You never know. He's 9 years old right now, almost 10. So, but anyway, yeah, we're good. Everything's good. Everyone's safe. Life is good. Life is crazy. Getting more clients, building that run-free business, working on hopefully doing more partner relations with other companies that we love. And, and then now I guess we'll get into part 2.
Hold on. I signed up for my first half marathon.
Oh, yeah. You're doing a half marathon.
I don't even know. I just... Again, one of those things where I felt good.
On Monday.
And I
after
signed
the
up.
Run on Monday.
Yeah, I felt really good and thought, I'm just going to sign up. I'm feeling really fresh.
We teamed up with our friends, Running Vibes, Brew Club, and on Monday, since we couldn't host a run on Wednesday, and so we partner up, collab with them, and it was great.
That was a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun, a great turnout. And hopefully that brought more awareness to our running community in Camarillo, since, Camarillo is not really known for that. Ventura could be known for that. LA could be known for that, we want to... But we are building more of a community out here, and I think we're trying to put more of a mark on our county. Ventura County has a good running scene. Austin with Rolling Zeros is doing well with this.
Yeah.
And, now we have all the Cesar Mountain and Ojai, and Oxnard has a couple of them, and there's a couple for us too.
I think Conejo Valley
and Thousand Oaks. So we're really trying to put everyone out there and help them out as much as we can, because we're at least for us, our club, we try to be very big in the community, and we want to make we want to bring more awareness to us and what we can offer. Body, mind, and spirit, but also just be there for people, in general. So, yeah. But Audie signed up for a half marathon, so we're going to be starting that training. I don't know, when is it? It's November, so maybe soon, maybe January. We'll get into butt. That gives you 4 months.
No, I want to start now or Monday. Or wait, today is Monday.
Next Monday. She says this, but she won't follow the plan.
What are you talking about? I really want to finish.
Just kidding.
No.
But we have that that gives you 6 months, give or take.
Yeah, and then
we gotta figure out what time you want. What maybe hit like a 2-hour goal, maybe below.
I don't even know any.
Well, I guess.
Well, you're my coach. You just tell me what you think.
We'll figure out
what's
something.
Attainable.
Maybe we should do like a series of vlogs of you actually talking about each week. Because we didn't really do that. We kind of did it in the beginning of Bandit, but then life got kind of hectic.
Yeah, it got hectic. I personally just don't like...
Just like talking?
I don't like talking in front of cameras and...
I can be weird and do this all day.
Stop.
But she can't be weird like that,
I'm weird, but not in the camera.
We're just a bunch of goofballs here. Yeah. We're just having a good time, and... Thank you for all the supporters out there. A lot of my clients and friends have just let us know they enjoy our podcast. They like it because it's not like just one topic based. It's not serious. They love the goofiness, I guess, and
we don't edit anything.
We don't edit anything, so we say shit, fuck, whatever. But yeah.
In real life, of sometimes probably, I don't know. I always wonder, because sometimes being married, we go, I think the last podcast I was kind of PMSing and grumpy and I kind of snapped at you.
Yeah, that's real. Jeez.
And so I after that I was like, oh shit, I have to like watch my attitude.
I'm facing this way because she beats me. She hurts me.
Oh no, I don't. But I was asking a few people like, oh, did you notice that? They said, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, okay. But we've been together for so long, I think.
Yeah.
But at least we're not. I hear sometimes other people when they're talking in the way they speak to their, you fucking dumbass. Don't ever talk to your significant other like that. That's gross and that's horrible. I know people could be annoying.
You get caught in the moment.
But
I know. But
you
we're not like that,
you just don't do that.
But yeah, I mean,
we used to a long time ago, but then
we were young and dumb at that time.
Yeah, you just don't do that. It's horrible.
But yeah, anyway, so we're gonna say thank you to all them. So thank you for listening to us. Thank you for listening to this rambling of nonsense that we decided to make a podcast because I guess I'm too serious in my dig deep with Coach B that now I have to dig deep with Audie and Coach B and make it more funny.
Too serious? I never even said that.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, I never said
sometimes
that.
I feel like I was a little serious in the other podcasts. I won't say serious, but like, I wasn't like how I am in this podcast where we can joke around, have a good time, laugh.
Because it was you by yourself.
I know. But even with that, I could do that, but I can't be like, oh, hey, Brandon, and then look around at myself. It doesn't make sense, At least I have Ed right there, at least giggling back there, our producer over there.
You know what I tell myself? And I don't even care if anyone thinks I'm weird for this, but I think I'm one of the funniest people to myself. I crack myself up.
You keep telling yourself that. You keep looking at me for some type of answer, and I'm like...
And I'm looking at you because you always... You say that I do this laugh that you and Matt always make fun of me about my laugh, that I go, hey, 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 or whatever.
Just like Keith. Keith has his own laugh, too.
I know.
Oh, your whole family. Angel doesn't speak when he laughs. He just does his face day. And you do it, and you do it, too.
I don't laugh like that.
Keith sounds like that dog meme. I don't even know if Keith even listens to this podcast. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But Keith, if you're listening to this, you got that laugh, bro. But yeah, I mean, it's
all you have to say to Keith.
This is like dig deep and talk shit with Audie and Coach B, huh?
All you gotta tell him Keith is 5 head and he'll bust up laughing.
I know.
Inside joke.
Inside joke, and he calls me out a big ass forehead. That's what he tells me. I know. That's love right there with friends, right? Call each other out on shit.
I almost spit out my drink.
But so this is part 2 of our part 1 episode. Which I think our part 1 got kind of to like spiritual stuff. It got to like scary stuff because it was Halloween time. But I mean, we're 18. I mean, a lot of stuff happened in between that time frame that we wanted to record, which we didn't have the opportunity to because it was just crazy. And then the election and then the fires. And so everything, the whole like last few weeks are kind of hectic. So
yeah,
this is part 2. Forget the cameras right there. Part 2 of our scary, I guess, what do you call that?
I said paranormal.
Paranormal stuff, or
what did we
Are
say?
You Afraid of the Dark stuff, you know?
Oh, that was a good show.
So we can definitely talk about that, but I think where we left off at was, I guess you can kind of talk about, because in reality, what started everything was when you confessed that you were questioning you're questioning God and questioning a lot of things around that time frame. So I guess you can take it from there, and then I'll come back in 10 minutes. Nope, just kidding.
Okay, I mean I can talk. Well, there was a dark period in my early 20s where I was questioning.
I think that was actually not even like early. I think you were 20. I think I was. I think I was either 21 and you were 20, or I was 22 and you were 21, because I think that happened even before 20, to be honest with you, because I started dating at I was 19, you're 18. I think it was like a year after that. So I don't think you were 20
I'll
yet.
figure it out. Or
Yeah.
I'll figure.
I don't think you were 20
I
yet.
don't know what I.
That was scary. I had the CRX still. That's why.
Yeah, so it was around that time I was questioning my faith and just a lot of God's existence. So it was kind of a dark period. And I started seeing weird things, like really weird things. This black shadow used to appear at my house.
Well, your house is just haunted in general.
No, but never has like this. It was some weird black smoke that I would see.
I saw it one time.
And it was really
In your
scary.
living room.
Huh?
In your living room.
Yeah, it was very odd. And so my mom.
I don't even think it was black smoke when I saw it. It was a black. Figure.
Well, it appeared to me as black smoke.
It was a black figure.
And my mom saw it, and she freaked out, and she didn't know what to do at that time. I didn't know anything about.
We painted the room. I remember that.
With what I know now, huh?
She painted the room because that lady, that vision lady from the Philippines, was talking about all that stuff. Remember? And then they told you to tell your mom to paint the room because the room was dark. Remember, your mom had like a dark color paint. I forget if it was like a red or like a darker cream or something. And then they painted it like that, what it is now, right? Or like a light yellow or something.
Yeah.
That was weird. I remember that.
It was just weird.
Your mom was asking about that.
Yeah, and so she had the church that she goes to pray over us and pray over our house, and eventually it went away. That was just freaking odd. And then even though that happened, I still questioned a lot of things. And I remember we were sitting in your car and I said something about the cat. Like, I just felt this like dark presence again.
No, the cat was walking across the street. I remember everything clearly because, I mean, I'm the
Then
one.
you tell that part. Because I tend to block out weird things that happen. I tend to block it out.
So we were talking, and I grew up Catholic, and so I had a rosary in my car. I had holy water in my car. My mom gave me all this stuff, so I carried my car every time I drove. So I have the presence of God in my car with me, a little shield. And I forgot you mentioned something. And then this little black cat just kind of like walks by.
I think it was a white cat.
No, it was black.
Oh, I thought.
And it was a black cat that walked by. And then it was just in the middle. And it was looking at us like dead on. And I was like looking at it. And I was like, that's so weird. It's just like standing there in the middle of the road in this parking lot at like almost midnight, and in that cul-de-sac area. And so I remember you started telling me all this stuff about faith and like you don't know if God exists, and you had this dream about the devil and like all this stuff, and whatever you believe in, right? And so you said, look, I'll tell you it's true. And then because I started questioning you on that stuff, and then the cat was there in the middle, and you looked and you're like, I'm going to say the devil, and you said the devil, and you said, look, the devil is here watching me, this dark entity, whatever it was you were saying. And then the cat looked at us and went, like, it hissed at us, and then I was like, what the
You're
fuck?
like, I'm dropping you off, Hope.
And then I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, this
and
is before the house got blessed, actually.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, because all this crazy shit like that was happening. Now I'm starting to...
Well, there's a lot that happened that night because you didn't have to deal with what I had to deal with that night. So this is like the whole how everything got started. So she questioned her faith. She questioned the existence of God, and literally God showed up, days later, weeks later, whatever it was for her. But for me, I'm the one who had I was the one that was attacked by some paranormal stuff. And,
some entity. Yeah.
You grow up Catholic, and, you watch scary movies. You think about that kind of stuff, and you wouldn't ever think it would ever happen to you. But somehow, now I learned that I'm more of a light person. So, of course, people get attracted to you when you're full of light. But in that situation, Audie was explaining all this stuff. The cat did that noise, And then all of a sudden, remember, I got that cold chill creeping up on my neck area. And I was like, why is there like, it was ice cold. Like it was like someone had an ice cube or something. And it felt it from my mid back going up my spine. And then I said, give me that holy water. And you gave me the holy water. I don't even know if you remember any of this. You gave me the holy water and I started praying and then I squirted the shit out of it on me. And then I started praying and then it went away. And then you like said some more stuff and then I took you home. So this is where the story gets kind of freaking weird. So so this is probably like midnight plus.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, and I mean, we can't text because, I mean, your old school dad was...
Well, no, it was back in the day before all that stuff was...
But you couldn't text, you couldn't call, like, you're on a curfew, like, everything.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like...
My parents were super strict growing up.
So I'm driving. I'm literally in a stick shift, and this car is a beat-up CRX. I mean, it can only go so fast before things happen. And I was on Victoria Avenue heading from Ventura, Oxnard, whatever, going to Ventura, heading to the freeway towards Salzers. And all of a sudden I'm going like, my car's going like 80 plus on Victoria and my foot was stuck on the pedal. Like someone was stepping on my foot. That's what it felt like. And I couldn't even shift and I couldn't even like brake. That's how crazy it was. And I was like, what the freak? And I'm going down. Thank God there was no cars coming. I mean, this is like midnight, right? So then I start freaking out and I started praying. And then finally, once I prayed, everything released. And I was like freaked out. And that's when I called Fernando because this is like, I'm like, who else is up this late that I can talk to? And I thought, oh, Fernando's always up. So then I called Fernando. Once I got on the freeway, I was like, okay. So I got near Rose Avenue, heading to Camarillo. I'm in Oxnard on the freeway. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I got to call someone. I'm calling Fernando. And I'm like, and Fernando picks up. I'm like, oh, thank God. And then he's like, hey, what's up? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just tired. I just want to talk to someone on my drive home, blah, blah, blah. Just start making up shit, you know? And then within that second after I said something, the voice got staticky. And his language that he was speaking was not English anymore. It was like some fucking weird ass demonic shit. I don't even know how to explain it. And it was Latin or it was something. It was something so creepy. I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about this right now. It was so creepy that that was shifting to that. And then that energy was coming up on my spine again. And then I got the holy water and I didn't even I just dumped the whole thing on me and I prayed and it didn't it didn't go away right away. It kind of hung out, that energy kind of hung out for me. And then I got to my mom's house and I went in my mom's room and I slept in there. I was so terrified to go home because when I got home, I parked in the driveway and I saw this black thing on my roof looking at me. And I said, what the fuck is this? And I ran inside. My brother was sleeping. And usually when I get scared, I would go in my brother's room and I sleep on the floor. So I'm used to sleeping on hard surfaces because I was always scared as a kid. And so I was like, I'm not going to bug him. So I went in my mom's room and I laid, she had my sister they used to share a room since there was 4 of us. And my sister had her bed in that room, so they had twin beds. And I laid in that twin bed, and my mom's like, what's wrong? And I said, Mom, I think someone's following me. I don't like this energy, whatever. And I look in the corner as my mom's talking, and then there's the figure in my mom's room looking at me from the corner where I'm sleeping at. And where I'm sleeping like this, it's literally... at this direction, that corner. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I didn't know what to do. And my mom started praying for me and she put on music. I woke up the next day and I said, Mom, did you put roses around? Like, it smells like roses, like the oil, whatever. She said, oh, it smells like roses. And I said, yeah. And then she's like, oh, that's a good sign. And I said, what do you mean? She's like, oh, that means the Virgin Mary was around you. And I said, okay, cool. They said, all right, yeah, I smelled like really, like the roses were faint. Like I could really smell, like it wasn't distinct, but I could smell it. Like it was strong at one point, then it kind of like dissipated. And then I remember telling you all this stuff, and you were still in this weird phase of questioning things. And this is when I was a scene kid, so this is when I had like that mohawk and all that kind of stupid shit that I was into. And so 2 weeks went by, right? And then my mom comes up to me, and I get home. All my friends are at home. All my friends are in the living room watching TV, waiting for me to get off of work. There's like 4 or 5 of us. I got home, and my mom says, she said something to me, and then I said something in a way of like, shut the fuck up, like some crazy shit like that, right? And then she closed the door and said, this is not you. Something's in you. And I think she felt some energy, so she put her hand on my head and spoke in Tagalog or something, prayed over me, and then instantly I fell back. And I fell back, like kind of caught myself, and I felt this energy release from my body.
Did you ever feel it, like when it...
I honestly couldn't even remember those 2 weeks. Like, because I know they talk about that when, like, entities kind of take over your body. Sometimes you're kind of, like, oblivious to everything around. And I don't really recall, like, those 2 weeks of what happened. But I remember that moment that my mom did that. I mean, it's a mother-son thing, right? She had the ability. But she just put her hand on my forehead.
But I think
and
your
then
mom
spoke
has healing, something about her healing ability.
Because she always talks about that. So she did that. And I felt this energy just like leave me, and then all of a sudden I remember I was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing in my room? What are you doing here, Mom?" And then she said something to me, and then she walked away, and then I felt lighter, like everything felt like weight was off my shoulder, and I think even from that you were still kind of questioning everything.
I did. I think I questioned everything until I think I was leaning more towards being an atheist. So it kind of took, even though we got married in a Catholic church, it took, I don't even know, until I think that last time I talked about before I turned 30, I felt like I was going to die, but it ended up being like some sort of spiritual awakening.
Well, I don't know if there was like, because at some point that's when we met like Emalani, our life coach and all that kind of stuff. So like that was before, I think that was right before 30.
Well, I thought I was going to die, but I thought when I turned 30, all this, it just shifted my way of thinking. It's just, I think the word, it's like when Audrey told me the word of God used to make me cringe. But then I started... anything
religion
related.
Anything religious figure, anything religion itself, because like you started to break the mold of what you thought was religion. Because Emalani kind of fucked up shit, to be honest with you. I don't know if I even mentioned her name, but whatever. But she caused more things in your head about who you are as a spiritual person. And I think
it caused a lot of confusion, even more confusion. I was already confused with my faith, and so having somebody else kind of, like when I finally felt comfortable, like, oh, I actually like more of this. Like I do, even though I'm not religious, I do like pray to Archangel Michael. I do some of the Catholic prayers because that's my foundation, and now it's like I have a different respect for it. And
at some point, even for me, like I felt like you're judging me based on that stuff. You know what I mean? Because I grew up this way, but I don't judge. And if you're atheist, I don't judge. Because
I don't judge
I've met a lot of people that are atheists or agnostic, or spiritual, right? Because everyone has their own viewpoint in life, and that's on you. Like, if you choose not to believe in anything, that's on you. Like, I'm not going to judge you for that, right? And so I listen to everyone's viewpoint. I mean, Mormons call me up all the time at some point, they would talk to me and they would tell me their Bible verses of what their belief system is, right? And I'd sit there and talk to them, and like, none of that stuff ever bothered me. What bothered me was that you're going into a dark place without even like really talking to me about it and like what I can do to support you. Because even at that time, I'd ask you stuff and you would just make up some BS to me. And then
I think I just didn't know because growing up, so a little backstory to that is growing up when I was in catechism for my Holy Communion, I was that kid. That's just my personality. If something doesn't sound right, feel right, or doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to question. And so I'd always raise my hand in catechism, and the teacher would kick me out of class. Even when I'd ask the priest questions, you need to go pray. And so I just had, like, I'm just questioning. So my mom, she used to be one of the teachers at catechism, and I told my mom that I got kicked out of class, and she's like, for what? And I'd say, well, because I questioned this, or I'm questioning the Bible, and so then I said, well, do you have an answer for me? And my mom said, you got kicked out of that. So at least my mom has always been more open, and so she would explain it to me. And then when I did, what's it called when you do the high school one? Your
confirmation?
When I did my confirmation, my mom would volunteer in the class. And so, again, I started raising my hand that this doesn't make sense. And my mom, I could see, like, she's looking at me like, oh, shit. Like, she had to ask that question. But luckily, much respect to the teachers at that time. I don't remember who they were, but they actually would answer everything. I said, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Or, okay, but I could agree to disagree with you. So at least I have respect for people that are like that. That just, if you have questions, you shouldn't put someone down for a question.
I think in the end, a lot of this stuff happened for us to realize the gifts that we have.
Yeah.
Because in retrospect, like, I'm super empathic, right? And then during like 2018, when I was like going down that down spiral of everything, and then dealing with like crazy anxiety and all that stuff, and then having to go to Costco, and everyone knows about Costco. If you haven't been to Costco, I'm pretty sure everyone that's listening has been to Costco. Costco and Oxnard is freaking hella packed.
I think they're all like
and
that, though.
The energies in Costco every time we went was like people grabbing stuff, like Kirkland clothes, like baby shopping, like meats, like toilet paper, like whatever it was. Costco was always crazy every time we went, and that was like the whole down spiral for me. So like being in Costco, the energy was so high. And I think as a kid, I've sensed stuff, I've witnessed stuff, like I've seen like extraterrestrials in my room. Like I've witnessed a lot of stuff as a kid, and now as I'm older, like some people may think I'm a little crazy for even saying that because I haven't really talked about that kind of stuff. But I do remember when people go under hypnosis, and Emilani did hypnosis on me one time about like aliens and shit. I remember when I went under, and people have like visions of like when they were abducted, or like when something visited them. I remember that clearly in my room. And it made sense of why I was terrified to sleep in the dark. It made sense of why I felt like I've always seen tall, gray things in my room, like, and alien stuff always, A, there was a component where I was always fascinated by it, or B, I was like terrified of it, right? And so I think that triggered more stuff too, and then having someone like you that's empathic, makes plenty of sense.
Well, I'm pretty clairvoyant too, but it's funny. Ed, I remember last week, or when the last episode actually, when we were talking about, oh, well, I'm not sure if I want to tap into mediumship. Oh, let me tell you. You warned me, be careful what you wish for. And I was even in that last episode being skeptic. And so I take back what I said about being skeptic. Can't even talk. Skeptic about, well, that doesn't really happen. Well, I'm at the park walking Cody. I have to actually show you the video after this. And some weird fucking figure just appeared at the park. And what's weird is before I saw this thing is I was texting one of my friends about this dream that she was in, and that it was weird.
Who?
I'm not gonna say who it is.
Oh.
But like I was texting her about this really weird dream that I had. It was you, me, and her in the dream, and it was just bizarre, this dream. And as soon as I shoot that text, I at the park, and I'm throwing away Cody's poop at the trash by the tennis courts, and I look up, and there's nothing there, and then I just slightly turn my head, and then I look, and I don't even know, it looked like a person standing with a blanket, and I'm just standing there, like, for a good minute, like, what is that? And then Cody starts acting weird, wanting to turn around, and he's like, making all the noises. Normally, my dog will bark at everything, and he thinks he's, like, this big Great Dane dog. He's this, like, little 15-pound Chihuahua. No, he was scared, so I decided to pull out my phone, and it was still there, and I just got really spooked. And so after that, I just had this feel of, like, okay, I don't want it to turn around. I have no idea what the hell that is. It just appeared out of nowhere, and I showed the video to a couple people, and they're like, oh, it's a homeless person. You said it was a homeless person. I was like, how do you explain where a split second I turn and a figure appears? I'm like, that is weird. So I put my phone away, and I'm wearing the Hoka thick boy sandals. I'm a total shoebie. I take off running so fucking fast. I'm sprinting out of that damn park, through the neighborhood with Cody. Even Cody's running really fast with me. And I get to the school, and I keep turning around. I was like, I feel like something's following me. And I was like, man, fuck this. So I continued running until I got to our street. And it's about 6 o'clock, so it's pretty dark outside. Or 6:30. I don't remember the time, but it was like...
No, it was like 6:15-ish, because I was...
You were out running.
I was doing my run. I was out for a couple hours.
The first three, so I'm just walking fast, and then Cody's not even wanting to sniff anything. Our dog just, you know him, he always wants to sniff. Nope, he just kept walking fast, and I'm walking fast. And then finally when I felt where Razor lives in that house area, Razor's the dog, started, okay, I think I could walk normal now, but I couldn't help but turning around. But after that, I thought, no wonder Brandon tells me to wear sneakers when I walk.
Girl never listened. Girl never listened.
Because it's like, you told me there's going to be a time that you might run, you need to run or something. Like, why would I run? Well, I'm thinking in my head, I don't need to run from a person. No, I'm running from a freaking spirit I saw. That was really weird.
Well, that energy was just weird in general, because
that
was Saturday, so that was...
And it was after, wasn't it after the fire? Yeah,
it was like after the fires.
After the fires, yeah. So it was just really weird. And then you took a picture of that weird orb.
Oh, I gotta show you that, Ed, too.
Yeah, that was just so odd.
I took a picture of, like, the moon. I showed it to Jess. I said I took a picture of, like, the light and the moon, and it looked like a bunch of, like, organisms, like... I don't even know how to explain it. I'll have to show you after, but it was really creepy.
Yeah.
It was really weird, and I was like, and I saved it, and I was like, what the heck? What the F is this?
And that's like weird that happened to you, and then the freaking...
For some reason, I stopped at this one spot, and I was like, I'm going to take a picture of the moon. And then so I was like sitting there, like, my phone's up, and I'm like doing this. And then as I take the picture, I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I was like, that's kind of weird. So then I clean my phone, and then it's like... And then it went away. So I was like, okay, I must have captured something on my phone that was paranormal, I guess.
That was just weird. So point of that.
Wear your sneakers when you walk a dog.
Huh? Oh.
Girl, don't listen. Stubborn as hell.
I don't listen to anybody. Clearly. That's just me.
See? And she said she's going to listen to the training plan I do for her. But now you know she doesn't listen to anyone.
I should, depending what it is. But,
yeah, that was a weird time. And I think the energy that we carry, people get more, I guess, other paranormal stuff just get, they get attracted to that stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, like, you went from that. So we're always surrounded by something. You know,
well, there's always your spirit guides are always around.
But I mean, like,
yeah.
But we always know that something's around because if you can't, like, I hear and see things, and the first time I saw something was my dad that I can remember his seeing him appear. That one night I came home and he was standing right behind that picture wall.
Oh yeah, I've
wall.
seen your dad a few times at your house.
He appeared in
Yeah.
like old 70s, 80s style flannel clothes with his reading glasses, which I converted my lens to fit his reading glasses. So I have him with me all the time, right? And I remember standing there seeing him look at me, and then he fizzled like a puzzle. Like it literally just went like this, and it was gone. And but I think when I even when we went out with Rachel that one time to that Thai food, that's when I told you that story, and even she was like, "Is this gonna happen to me?" That
She
one.
was so scared.
I think she might
No,
have been
that was
scared.
that different story, that one with your friend.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna talk about right now.
Oh, you're gonna talk about that story?
Yeah, that story, because that's the one I told her about.
No, I'm driving by myself tonight.
You can call me. We're all driving
Oh
separate.
my god.
That could be like a weird. That could be a one-on-one story. But when I remember I was telling you guys that story, and she was like scared. I can't just like not say it now.
No, I know. Okay, I'm gonna have to like go in the other room and be like this.
That was like a trip. We'll just say it was something. It was so weird that anytime someone heard the story, let's just leave it as that entity would follow you in your dreams. And I remember telling you guys, I mean, when I told you the first time, you were freaked out. But then I remember when Rachel, you know, you're like, I remember when I mentioned it, you looked at me like eyes, and you're like, oh, I don't know if you want to talk to about that.
I
And
don't.
then-
That's one story
I
that I don't like. That's
And I
seriously
remember I
scares me.
was telling you guys, and then Rachel's like, what the fuck? Like, she was like, well, that's crazy.
Well, I
Because-
guess if you tell the story, it could be another time when I'm in the car with you. I want to be driving by myself.
But it was
I
just
already
like
have anxiety driving, so no.
it was just a story that if literally like if someone told you what the situation is, this thing would show up, and this thing was with me for like 2 weeks, and that was one of the first encounters.
Oh my
that
god,
I
you
really,
keep saying it after
I
I
know.
told you it scares me.
and
Stop.
so that
Like, stop.
literally like it got to a stage
Oh.
where I woke up in the living room, and I saw whatever it was standing at the edge of the couch staring at me, and I said, and I closed my eyes and I threw the pillow. That's the only thing I can think of. I threw a pillow at an invisible thing, whatever it
I
is.
put duct tape on you.
You know,
Stop.
and then I ran off, and then.
All right, I'm gonna freaking tell you a ghost story before
No, but
bedtime.
that was.
Because I know you get scared at night
Yeah.
sometimes.
But I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, I realized the gifts I have and what is around me, and a lot of my friends know this, and some of my friends know this, some of my friends don't. You know, but I can recall a lot of situations where there's been crazy shit like this, and this happens on a constant. This is not just like once in a blue moon. Like I'm always surrounded by something. Like when I worked at the gym, you know, this one lady I met, I don't want to say her name, but this one lady I met, like something came to me, and I went up, and I looked at her and I said something to her, and then she was like, looked at me kind of like, huh? And I told her like, hey, like your mom's around, blah, blah. This is what she's telling me right now, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but she wanted me to tell you this. And then she said she loves you. Like, I remember saying that at the end. And then she was like, whoa, and she started crying. And I was like, ah, shit. I was like, fuck, Nick says you gotta be careful telling people stuff, you know, because you just don't want to, like, you know, it can either trigger something or whatever, right? And so...
Yeah, you gotta...
And so I was... But
Yeah.
something was, like, nudging me to say something to her. And then ever since then, we became, like, best friends at the gym. And she reached out to me last week to make sure I was okay from the fires and whatnot. But, yeah, she's an older lady, and she texts me some stuff. And we always laugh because her son is named Brandon, too. So sometimes she'll text me stuff for him, and I'm like, wrong Brandon.
Oh my god,
You
that's
know?
funny.
But we talked about a lot of that stuff, and sometimes these things come up to me, and I mentioned one time another situation with her, and she's like, what the fuck? Like, seriously? Like, I was just thinking about my cousin, that's his name, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, he must have had, like, I remember all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, he had talked about, like, a bicycle and all this other stuff. She's like, what the fuck? And so she, like, had this whole moment. But, you know, sometimes I just can't help it. And sometimes, like, I give out readings from people. Like, you know, I met some people and then all of a sudden things come to me and I can feel the energy. I mean, like, it's just, I can't be afraid of it, even though like I still get kind of tainted from it. But at the end of the day, I mean, I sleep with a nightlight, with a little salt lamp, because that, for me, that energy just, it keeps negative energy away from me. Because then that salt lamp was given to me from someone that is super spiritual. There's a client's daughter that has her own spiritual shop out in this area.
Where?
Her name was Catherine. I have it in my phone. I gotta look it up. But it's in this area, I think. And so, maybe here or LA, I forget. But yeah, super nice. I mean, like, but she gave me that salt lamp, so I know like it's blessed. And then I make sure our house is blessed. I mean,
I always say a prayer over our house, but it's like I see all this stuff. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm in that, like, I know that I have the gifts, but I guess from the last episodes being skeptical about, like, houses, because I've never experienced that. So I think I've experienced, like, haunted houses, but it's, like, nothing crazy.
Well, we talked about that with that last time.
Yeah. So it's just kind of, again, I'm not going to be the cat because I don't want curiosity to...
Wait, you said that last week, that last time to Ed. And even Ed was all like, "Are you sure you want to deal with like exorcism stuff?" And then you're like saying, "Oh, I think it'll be really cool and stuff like that."
I still have a fascination for it because I don't know, maybe it could be my calling.
But if something like that comes to you, you run away from it. So like you're asking to be part of this realm, and then you run away from it.
Well,
so
I need to have I need to go places with Nick so I could get used to it.
I mean, I've been places with Nick. I mean, I've been places on my own. I've been in dark places. I traveled a lot for 3 years. I've been in a lot of places. And
because the places I've blessed, it's like...
I can tell you.
They're not super crazy where stuff is...
Because you can't, I think...
I guess when you're in that zone, it kind of goes...
Well...
Because I did go into a house cleansing with Nick a little scared... But he did tell me, because he asked how I felt. I said I'm a little curious and scared at the same time. But it's like when you're gonna cleanse a house, those spirits they're gonna know, and so like you have to not be.
Well, you're
afraid.
Like in reality, you're just hesitant towards.
I think I'm hesitant towards my abilities.
All that, but like. I walked in, Nick, like, literally, like, the first place I go to as Nick was, like, this crazy crime scene stuff, right? So, like, I'm sitting here, like, what the F is all this, right? And I'm having to, like, listen to this stuff. And this was years ago, right? 2021. Or even before that. Maybe? No, before all that.
Yeah, it was way before COVID.
So, yeah, right before COVID. So, like, I'm dealing with that 2019. So, I'm, like, I mean, what was mid-20s? Yeah. Either way, but... yeah, so I see stuff, and I was like, holy crap, this is like some heavy stuff, and Nick deals with this kind of energy all the time. I mean, he knows how to get all that woo-woo stuff out of your body and out of the world, right, to go back into the place. But like a lot of the stuff, when I process this and think about it, it's literally like Insidious. It's literally like these entities are stuck in this like middle ground of where do I go? What do I do?
You know what's weird? I don't mean to interrupt. I was actually just thinking about Insidious right now. That's fucking weird.
Well, I mean, like, that's just what it is, right? Like,
well, that movie's really...
if you talk to people that read the Bible, right, they talk about before you go, like, whatever you believe in, guys, but, like, some people will talk about before you go to heaven, you're in this one place for a certain amount of days.
Oh, purgatory?
Like something before you can really reach to the next level, right? There's like some religions like that. Because I remember I was talking to someone that was like super religious, and they were talking about like it could be like this stage before you get to the next stage.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so I was like, I never thought about it because he was explaining it to me. But some people believe like right when you pass on, you do your forgiveness and then you're in heaven, right? Jesus shows up, and this is like what that is. But I've had my own experiences with Jesus, and Jesus showed up in a way where people that were skeptic about my story, and when I told them what I witnessed and what I saw, it was based off what the Bible said, and then the Bible says when he comes, like I guess this is what one of the guys told me, when he comes to you, you're not going to be able to see his face because it's so bright and shiny and it's blue, or whatever it is, right? Whatever the Bible may have said, it's so bright that and so I said that to a buddy that was super hardcore religious that I used to work with, and I told him that whole thing, and he was like, "Holy shit! Like that's what it's described in the Bible of like how Jesus comes and sees us." And I said, "Yeah, I literally," and I told you that story. I literally saw that in 2017, and then the whole stigmata shit that happened to my feet.
Oh yeah, that was
like,
crazy.
A year later,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I've had my own experiences. Within the religious aspect, within the realm of everything, readings from Julia to other people, and yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what else to say. Like, people look at me and you know can see me in a different way. Oh, he listens to this music, he runs, he does this, but there's this whole other chapter, old chapters of me of what I used to be and what I've seen and what I witnessed, and it's heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I think when we talk about stuff, I think I have more stories to talk about than you because you're like, dude, you've seen and witnessed a lot more in your life about a lot of things than I have, and I think a lot of it is because, like you said in the beginning, you were like hesitant to like.
Well, I see things, but it's just kind of like I see things, and it's like, I guess I just brush it off.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. Sometimes when things happen, like my dad, when I was at the house, I swear my parents' house, his brother disappeared, and I went like that with my eyes. And then I was asking, because my dad had a brother that passed away, I think, when he was 3 from the flu or something.
Oh yeah, we would hear him all the time too upstairs.
Yeah, I would always hear a kid upstairs laughing and running.
Your mom's room right now? I'm not going in that room.
That used to be my
No
room.
way. No way I could be in that room. And then yeah, the whole hallway, the whole upstairs, your whole upstairs in your parents' house is freaking weird. and that one time I got sleep paralysis, that downstairs.
I used to get that all the time at my parents' house.
And it was such a weird thing because I remember I couldn't wake up, and I've researched what it is, and I said that's so freaking weird. But like, this is so weird that there's like, it was like our kids. Like this was like I was in the future, and I saw our kids because remember I told you I said there was a little girl that looked just like you with short hair, and she came up to me and then ran off. And there was like other boys that she was playing with, and they were just running off in your mom's house. And I'm getting chills thinking about that right now because I remember I told you that story, and at that time I remember I couldn't wake up. Like I was awake and I couldn't move my arms, I couldn't move my body. It was such a scary feeling.
I used to get that a lot in my parents' house. I've moved around a lot in my parents' house. I used to be in that creepy room downstairs, and then I went upstairs, and I've moved around different spots. Like after my sister and Angel moved out of the house.
At the studio too, where you lived at.
Oh yeah, but I had friends that didn't even want to come visit because they would see like figures outside of our house.
Virginia saw something.
She saw something. What is that? And then there's just friends who are like, I'm not going to your house. Like, it's creepy.
Yeah.
And remember Matt? So my best friend gave me. I love vintage things. I love collecting like vintage dishes, jewelry, purses, just anything that looks Victorian. I love all that stuff. And so he gave me a brush that his grandma had. She had passed away, and it was like one of those really cool, it was real silver,
I know,
like those old school. And you told me, I don't like that, I don't want that in the house. I said, why? I like it. And there was weird stuff going on. We heard somebody running up the stairs.
Yeah, I mean a lot of stuff.
And then I ended up mailing it back to him, and I said, I don't want this.
And then the antique pictures you had, remember we had to throw it away too. It was in the house.
Oh, because it used to always fall down.
No, the one that was like the 3, it was like Victorian.
I still have that.
That was, remember we kept it in the garage, and then you said something.
Oh, I said it wants to be hung. It's whatever the energy wants to be hung.
But we don't have it. It's not hung.
Oh. Did we throw it away?
Yeah, we threw it away because it was bad
You said I
energy.
never liked this. I'm
It was
like, I
bad
loved
energy.
it. I never.
We blessed it and we threw it away. We said this no longer belongs to us, and please get it.
You didn't like it. I wasn't.
No,
afraid of it.
because a lot of shit was happening. It fell down in a studio apartment a lot. It didn't like being hung on the wall. And then when we were in my mom's house, it was like something was happening, and then we had to put it in the shelf, and then it was a whole spiel.
I don't even remember that. I said
What's our time, Ed? Where are we at right now?
About an hour.
Okay,
all right.
almost close to an hour. And
We could
here
go
are,
on and on and on about our paranormal.
which I guess we'll just have to do that again at some point.
No,
in the
there won't be a
future.
part 3. It could be later down.
Yeah,
down the
because
road.
we have a lot. We have a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. But if you really want to know more stuff, next time you meet us in person, you can ask us all these questions, and we're more than
Your creepy story.
we're more than welcome to talk about that stuff, you know. And I didn't mean to scare anyone out there if anyone got scared.
We
but
probably should have put an advisory. Well, I guess we'll have to put it in the description because I have friends that don't like to hear any of this stuff. So I'm sorry.
But you'll be fine. This is all stuff
You won't
in the
be
past.
followed or any of that stuff.
You know, I'm just gonna do some crazy blah, 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 and then that's it. Right. But this was the part 2. This could have been like a 3-hour episode in reality, because there's much more that Audie could have talked about.
I have some stories, but
She'll have to save that for another time.
But there won't be a part 3.
Right now, at least.
Yeah, later down the road.
But we just want to say thank you. It's already late for us. You know, I got a bedtime in like 30 minutes. And we just want to say thank you for listening to part 2 of Halloween extravaganza, I guess.
I don't even remember what the episode was called.
It was like Halloween stuff. But anyway, spiritual stuff, realm stuff. Don't think we're crazy. I know who you guys are.
Well, that's all right. It's okay.
I'm just kidding.
That's all right. That's okay.
But I guess have a great night, morning, afternoon, if you're running, non-running, listening during work, or just listening when you're on the toilet. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Just let us know what you think. You know, we love the support. We love everyone just, you know, listening to us and giving us some feedback, you know. I think we like to goof off a lot, and I think that's what makes our podcast a little more different, I guess. Not just, you know, like that. I think there's a lot of podcasts like that, so it's good to have a husband and wife laugh and joke and talk about poop.
Okay.
But thank you for listening to
Thanks.
another episode of Dig Deep with Audie and Coach B. I am Coach B.
I'm Audie.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Sweet, I'm so tired. Sweet, I'm so tired. You see me this way.
Long one.